Audio, and we can continue. Testing. Testing. All right, cool. Let's see, where did I put my headphones yesterday? I swear I lose those more often than anything. All right. So where we at now, we have a total of 5 of our doors put together. They're already glued up. They just need to be cut to length and sanded. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to do my last 5 glue ups. And before I can do that, I need to get all the panels situated. I have panels cut for 2 of the doors. I need to cut the panels for the other 3. 2 of them still need to be ripped. The other 3 just need to be cut to length. So what we're going to do now is actually rip the last few panels. And then we're going to go back to the miter saw, cut everything to length. And then for one of the rails, for one of my doors, I coped all the ends, but I missed one. So I'm going to set up the router table again and take another pass on the router table. But first, let's rip all of our panels. Let's grab our table saw fence. Slide on the side. All right, fence back on. Let's see, which ones do I need to cut first? So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut everything I need for this short door, which is 18 inches wide, and all my panels need to be 10 inches. So 1, 2. Let's see, these need to be like, so I can get 2 out of this. So that's 3, 4. And then I'm gonna need 1 piece. This will do my short door. I got that one already cut. So I have one that's currently at 9 3/4. And that one's for my 30-inch door. And then I have this stack over here. That's at 9 13. And that's for my 28-inch door. This will be my 18 door. Which one am I missing? Oh, the other 28, and that one's 9 3/4. So I'm gonna make rips at 10 for the 18 door, and then rips at 9 3/4 for the other one. Hey, how you doing? So I can go at 10 and then I'll shrink it afterwards. Cool. Da-da-da-da. And then I use those for the rest. Okay. So we need 10-inch rips. Yes. finish up the last of the doors today. Now I need rip to 9 3/4. All right. Let's see. I should be able to get 2 for. Get this one. So again, that's also why I'm happy I made extras. Because again, throughout the milling process and wood itself isn't perfect. Some of the panels, my glue up line is right here. But this board itself, after getting thinner, the planer, we have a split right there. But I still can get one and chop it off before the split happens. The same with this one. I still can get 2 because this section right here is, well, I'm also going to pull that off. This section is pretty much broken off. So if I actually needed that portion of the panel, it'll be a problem. So again, I have a whole extra one back there. So I have enough to do all these. It's also why, resawing the other boards the other day to make those extra panels was definitely worth it. Because it kind of sucked to be at this point and have to like re-glue up or go through, making more panels. Now I have 3 sets of panels I need to cut to length. This set, that set. Because let's see, I have 2 currently already cut to length on the miter saw. That's for a 30 and 3/4 inch door, 30-inch door. That one's for a 28. That's my 18, 28. And then this one's for another 28. So I just need to set my stop block up for 28 and then cut all my 28s and then cut all my 18-inch panels. And then we'll be good to go ahead and do the glue ups. We're going to probably do, again, 3 glue ups. I think I have enough clamps to tackle 3. I might have enough to do 4, but there's 5 doors anyway. And then while those are drying, I have those over there to sand and start detailing, routing, etc. I could cut them to length. I might do that today. I'm still waiting on my track saw. So I was kind of waiting till that got here. And then actually, 1 second, we just got in the door knobs. We grabbed those from inside. Oop, I dropped one. And one of the old school mortise lock doorknobs. Thank you. Again, that's the goal of my channel and all of my videos. I hope they teach, inform, and hopefully slightly entertain. Yeah, just like older homes that have the old school mortise locks with the see, let me not even take these out of the box until I'm ready to install them. I just dropped a set screw that actually goes into the knob that actually holds it onto the bar. So let me not play around and lose that. Put that back in there. Okay, yeah, this side set screw is already out. It's just loose inside of the box. But essentially, old school hardware for knobs and everything else had the old box mortise locks. So that's what I'm going to be installing on all these doors. So we do have to route in for all the mortises. I'll route out all the mortises for these lock sets. So we're going to kind of tackle that probably tomorrow. These are actually going to be really nice once they get installed, though. But yeah, goal for today is to get all the doors sanded, flat, glued together. And then we're going to delve into the actual mortising, profiling, and everything else probably tomorrow. Let's move that out of the way. Yeah, also, if you guys missed the stream yesterday, we got 2 together on the stream, but since the stream have been glowing up more, we have a total of 5. We're halfway there to the completed door set, and we're about to finish up the rest of that right now. So again, everybody's been hanging out and enjoying this journey. I really appreciate you guys. Hopefully, with the knowledge base I've given you guys so far, you guys can build your own doors. All right, so the next step, though, is to cut things to length, being the panels. And I want to, again, double check, make sure I don't screw nothing up. We have the 2 28-inch doors, the rails with 19 and 13/16. I want the panels. I've been going about 3/16 shorter. So for the 28-inch doors, those panels need to be 19 and let me actually measure one of the rails to confirm, but I think they're 19 and 13/16. And we will want them to be a total of 3/16 smaller. So the panels will be 19 and 5/8. Let's measure. Yeah, these are 19 and 13. So we want 19 and 5/8 for all of our panels. Well, for 2 of our panels, and then we have this small door. These rails are, let's get a measurement on this one. This one is 11 and 1/16, looks like. Yeah, 11 and 1/16. So these would be 10 and 7/8. 10 and 7/8 and 11. I mean, 10 and 7/8 and 19 and 3/16. I mean, 19 and 5/8. Now, since I'm saying a bunch of numbers, my goal is to not fucking cut the wrong number, which does happen sometimes. Let's put these panels over here out of my way. There we go. So the first one we're going to do will be the 28-inch doors, which are 19 and 5/8. You want to make sure you square up one end before you start cutting. 19 and 5/8. See, this is the one that had that split in it. And that split doesn't run all the way through this panel, but I might try to make an additional one because it already has a split in it. It's a good chance that over time with weather and everything else, this may split, but I also might be able to reinforce it with CA glue and sand it. We'll see if I can even get it to open to get glue in there. But I do have some thin CA glue. So that might be a solution for that one, but we'll figure it out as we progress. I might go ahead and rip down the other panel though. Again, just to be safe, kind of sucks to build all these doors and have an issue. That's too short. See, actually, what I could do, take this and use this for one of the short doors and still one of the panels. Come over here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I can actually steal one of the panels I have for the short door and replace that one that's cracked, which was something that was too short. This is the one with the hairline crack in it. So I'll put that one off to the side. That's just an extra panel. And then this one is wider because it was ripped for the smaller door. So I do need to re-rip this one. But again, that's why it was ripped wider. So I can always make it smaller. There's also a small split at that end. So I'm going to try to avoid both. And this is the piece that had the chip that flaked off on that corner up there. But again, I was able to get my 2 panels out of this piece because I saved this piece for my smaller doors. So a little bit of planning and how you actually mill and cut all of your material. Again, because wood isn't perfect, you kind of got to plan around it. It's like the splits of some of these panels. You can't always re-glue them and go through that whole process, but if you can kind of plan around and cut out all the defects, plane off or joint off various pieces, it'd be a little too thin for a cutting board. This is like 3/8 of an inch thick. So like that'll just cup and bow like a potato chip. They work fine for door panels because it's going to be inside of all the door joinery. But again, if this was just like a cutting board, in like a week, it'll just kind of cup and bow. I don't know what I can do with these though. I might not throw them away. Maybe coasters, or maybe just because again, wood glue, you can always glue stuff together. I cut a bunch of these and just stack them on top of each other until they got to like a thicker piece, and then do something with it. So, or I can always make it like a very narrow end grain cutting board, make it like an inch thick, but then slice it to a bunch of 1-inch strips and lay them out to make a cutting board. So, again, what am I going to do with the scraps? Who knows? But there might be a future project coming from it. Let's see, that's 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5. Yeah, this one has one of those splits in it too, so I'll probably put that off to the side. Can you make bookends? What do you mean? I would have to see what you're talking about. I already know what a book is. Like something to like kind of hold up like books on a bookshelf. Let's see, and this is the other one I took from the 18-inch. So if I rip this one down, that'll be the 5th one for that. To keep books standing up. Yeah, I guess. So yeah, you're talking about just like an L-shaped bracket piece that kind of just sits on a bookshelf. Yeah, I guess if I knew somebody who wanted a bunch of bookends, or if I knew like a library, or if I had a client for it, I can make just about anything. But in my mind, that's something that never even came across as an object to build. But yes, I guess that would be an option. If you put me in with the library that needs like 30 of them, we can make that happen. That's 5 of these. And this is the other 5, minus the one that needs to be ripped to the proper width. This one is wider by 1/4 of an inch. I need to rip this one. And before I go back to the table saw, let me figure out all the ones for the shorter door. And what was the length? They were 11 and a 16th. So we need 10 and 7/8. 10 and 7. And that's shorter than my stop block would go. So typically what I do in this case, I can either throw like a board up here and slide my stop block further back. But I'll probably just clamp something to the miter saw. Inch that over. Oh, inched it too much. All right there. Butt that up against the piece I'm actually cutting. Walk down the clamp. Now this piece is clamped into place and it works the same as a stop block. There's all 5 panels for the shorter door. Wait, did I rip all these? I forgot I did grab one that was narrower. Let's see, so I guess I have to make a, what are these? Nine and 3/4. One panel being an 1/8 inch smaller isn't really big of a deal. And then this is the one that needs to be ripped to the current 9 3/4 for the other ones. Yeah, 128 is 9 13. One is. All right, so now I have those labeled. This one still needs to get ripped. And then these are all good too. So all these are stuck over here on the miter saw. We're pretty much done with the miter saw for the rest of this project. These are 4. And these are the other 2. These are the panels for the last 5 doors. We got 1 to rip and a bunch of extra pieces that will eventually become something and or fire. So this one needs to go to 9 3/4. And then I need to set up the router table and route the one piece that I forgot. We're done with the table saw. Happy Easter, boss man. Hope you had a great day. Found a bunch of colorful eggs. Got to sleep maybe. Let's see, it's this one. So yeah, if you guys caught the other lives, I did all the profiling on the router table. Oh, you guys can't even see me. I had done all the profiling over on the router table, and all of them have, again, their copes on both sides, but one. We have a cope here, and out of all 50 pieces, those 60 pieces, I missed one. So we have to reset the router table and take that last pass before we can go into the building. Let's see, to Angel. I can't have the walls. Sleeping. Yes, the sleep is never as consistent as we actually want it to be. I dream of sleeping while I'm sleeping. Okay, let me change out the bits. And the wrench. Yeah, easy peasy. As long as I don't screw up this one piece. Oh my god, I hate flattening stuff with the router. Again, I think I did an entire tabletop. It was like 3 foot wide, 4, 5 feet long. It wasn't that table. It was a coffee table, so it wasn't really that big. But yeah, nah, I can't. I have a smaller router. Well, not even a small one. It's like a 4 foot long, 4 foot wide router sled that fits with my MFT benchtop. And yeah, that is not fun. Cutting boards, not so bad. But like if you have to do a bunch of them, I dream of the day when I have a giant drum sander, especially for ingrain stuff. Like it, yeah, nah, my hands don't tend to like that. And now theoretically, setting this bit up shouldn't be hard because I have templates. I have several that's already done, so I should be able to accurately put this exactly where I want it with no issues. Will that actually happen though? I probably should do a test piece. Before I actually run my actual piece. That'd probably be the smart thing to do. I still have some smaller test pieces over there. Wait, you have decent dust collection on your router sled? Mine's again, I have no dust collection on my router sled, so maybe that'll make it more enjoyable. But router sledding is like probably the most messiest thing I can do inside of the shop. Routing in general is the messiest thing I can do inside of my shop. Oh yeah. With no dust collection, that's terrible. No, why would you want that? Yeah, with no dust collection, router sleds, again, they get the job done for those of us who don't have a CNC, but we all secretly want a CNC with great dust collection. Nobody's like, yeah, I'd much rather really do this by hand. And if you are, then I will say you're a great person. I look at routing, using a router sled as like it's a means to an end, not an enjoyable one. All right, so now it should be pretty easy again to set this up. Because again, templates. Oh, there's more play in this than I wanted it to be. Oh, she's not spinning, so it needs to go lower. Oh, no, it needs to go higher. That looks like it. She can't spin. Bring it down. She still can't spin. Down just a little bit. And then like quarter turn. Okay, now the bottom's picking it up. That seems perfect. Oh, I done turned it trying to pull the stick out though. right, we'll lock that down, and then we can do a test cut. That should be it. Let's see. Yeah, planing is definitely the best way to go with cutting boards, as long as they're not end grain and your planer is wide enough. Let's see, garage, Westman dry. 1, 2. Yeah, definitely want to, well, so I'm planning to get a mini split in here. I don't think I'm gonna need a dehumidifier. I never checked the humidity in here, but I hope it's okay. And hopefully the mini split pulls in the moisture and stuff in the air. Might not. I might have to look more into it, but definitely something to invest in, because you don't want your wood cupping or blowing because of temperature swings, humidity swings. Ideally, your shop will be acclimated. We all haven't gotten there. I'm not there yet either. But if you're building furniture in your shop and it's 20 degrees out here, but then you build a table, then bring it inside of a house that's regular 65, 70 degrees, your table is going to be cupping, bowing, twisting, and not having a great day. And neither will your clients. When your beautiful table that you dropped off is no longer beautiful. All right. Test piece, then the actual piece. Yes, it's a MFT style bench top that allows me to do various things, clamp stuff down, hang various tools and fixtures on. And most CNCs will have some type of top, either T-Track or MFT, strictly so they can clamp things down as they mill stuff. Every bench in my shop has an MFT style top, strictly for clamping and whatnot. Half of the battle of woodworking is finding a way to hold your stuff so you can actually work on it. And yeah, you're either going to use T-Tracks or bench dogs. You know, you're going to be using one of the main systems more than likely. And I just opted for bench dogs. And I do use T-Track quite a bit though. But typically, oh god, there's an avalanche of lumber behind me. Okay, so let's see. Where am I about to put the camera at then? Probably over here. You gotta do something with all those strips. Now let's see. Do I have another piece of 8/4 that is scrap that I can test on? Looks like this is the only piece that hasn't been. You know what? I can just cut the ends and recoat it. All right, right, so we cut the coke pins off of this block, and now we're going to do a test cut, and then run this actual piece. Is this worth setting on the dust collector? Yeah. This is probably full again, isn't it? Oh, it's not. Holy shit. All right. Test number 1. I'm fucking right, too. There we go. All right. Take it easy, boss. All right. That is it for the router table. That's it for the table saw. Now all we have left to do is several glue ups and then a lot of sanding. No, I can't get below the table. I'm actually going to take the bit out. I won't need it anymore. God, this plate gets in there really, really tight. So everything is cut, everything is ripped. I'm done with all of these test pieces. I can take the table saw fence off. I don't need my hearing protection anymore throughout this process. The rest of this is glue ups. And the best place for you guys doing up is probably over here on this table. Maybe on the bandsaw, actually. Okay, yeah, kind of like that. That gives you the view of the whole table and pretty much everything we're going to be doing. Now, the only thing I have to make sure I don't screw up is that I grab the right panels, the right parts of the doors, and put them together the right way. Let's roll back out some of this paper. Just to keep the table saw safe. And I had another piece for this side of the saw. Just again to keep glue from getting all over the saw. All right, we're gonna start with 2 clamps. Those clamps almost took me out. We'll do 3 at the bottom. Just to grab. And this is the 32-inch door. I mean 30. This is one that's 22, right? Yep, 22. So this gets 4 3/4-inch rails. I mean stiles. We'll flip this one around. Something like that. All right. Let me get my glue and everything else set up. And we should be good to start. Let's see, can I zoom out? There we go. You guys can see everything. Tilt it down just a little bit to get the glare out the screen. And that should be good for the whole entire glue up. And what size panels does this one get? 10-inch panels, which is this one. I'll set those down at this end. Now I'm gonna grab my glue and everything. All right. So The methodology that I started using yesterday was to actually dip each one of my rail pieces, and I will say it's been working out. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. It does make a little bit more mess on the rail, so a little bit more scraping and sanding later. But the speed in which I can actually put the doors together, I think it ends up being worth it. Let me get my hammer down at this end as well. Also, like I was saying yesterday about the other workbenches and benefits to having finishes on stuff. You know, when I was whacking the doors, I got a bunch of glue on the edge of the hammer, but just like my workbenches and everything else, if you have a finish on your pieces, the glue just peels right off. All right. I think I pretty much used all the glue that was in here. No, I got enough to fill this up again, I think. Now I have another gallon behind me, so I'm fine. But don't want to throw this jug away. And I just want this tall enough that when I dip my rails into the glue, it pretty much coats most of the tenon, and I kind of just brush it out evenly with my brush. So I don't want this super deep. I don't think this glue ball is going to do it. I'll probably open up the other one. So I probably should have had this sitting upside down overnight, actually. It's probably what I should have done. So actually what I'm going to do is probably turn it upside down and let the rest of this run down and probably fill this tray up again later. So let me open the other jug of glue. If she will balance upside down, which she probably won't. Nope, that's me asking for too much. So that one's trash. I'm not going to sit here and mess around with trying to get the every last little drop of glue out of there. Hey, what's up, boss? All right. And now the time starts. Dude, clean that a little bit up right there. You want to do a dip. Come back with your brush. Spread it all the way down to the bottom of the tenon. Then flip it over and give her another dip. And I'm also making sure I brush out like all the extreme excess. Oh, next panel. Thank you, thank you. We have 5 doors done, 5 more to glue up, and then a whole lot of sanding left. Oh. That's 79. And this one can kind of come together more, so I'll kind of whack it together after I drop on this last style. So this is the office door. Whew. I haven't figured out the best way to do this without pinching my fingers yet, but we're gonna learn today. This one actually went together nice and easy. All right, let's lay it down. Okay, the top is already square, so we're going to clamp down the top, and then I'll kind of whack at the bottom rail to get it to where I want it to go. I knocked over a clamp. That's where we want her. That actually looks good. I think I'm supposed to have 78 and a quarter, so I can probably smack this bottom rail up. Because right now we're reading 79 to 16th and 79. Beautiful. Now I just gotta set the rest of these clamps in, and then I can get this one off the table and go into the next one. As to which clamps I'm going to use on this door, I don't know. I'm going to start grabbing some. All right. This one is just spinning. I gotta take a look at this one later. All right, door one glued together. Now comes the fun part of moving each one of these doors. Whew. I did do it slightly different yesterday. with different clamps on the bottom so they won't like dragging across on the bench like these ones are. That definitely made it harder to stand up. Okay. Oh. Whew, hopefully I made that look easy. I think I have one more door that size, and the rest of them are 28 and under. So that's going to be a breath of fresh air. Whew. All right. That one's checked off. I still have 1, 2, 3. And this one with 9 3/4. Yeah, that's the last 30-inch door. The bathroom. That one's next.
$78. And I can whack this one together just a little bit. This one needs to be 77.5. Oh.
Yeah, I think he's going with like a walnut stain on these, if I'm not mistaken. He has a walnut front door. I think he wanted walnut stain. There we go. Oh, there's going to be so much sanding. I am not looking forward to that. Whew. definitely want to get some more clamps. It's very rare that I actually use them all. Well, every time I do, I think it's that time to get some more. All right. Now I gotta drag this one to the floor. And the rest of them are small ones. Actually, let me get down to the middle. Oh, my knees. Oh, phew. All right. One more. Well, three more. I'm going to do one more. That's probably all I can get done in this live. I'll probably do a lot of sanding off screen. All right, next clamps. Thank you. Yeah, like yesterday, maybe just a small bit of shark. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Again, I'm excited. These last three doors are smaller. So the lift to get them off the bench shouldn't be as bad. Shouldn't. Whew. Oh, yeah. I think you missed the part where I pooped my pants while lifting the whole entire door assembly. This part, easy. Moving them, hard. Sheesh. But again, these next three are smaller, so I'm feeling better. I still am not happy about the hours of sanding that's ahead of me. I'm almost thinking I can take these down to Yukon Lumber and have them sand them all. Not sand them, but run them through their thickness planer. We'll make the rest of this a lot easier for me but then again, with like the grain direction and whatnot, I've never sent a whole door through a planer, and let alone with like grain going in multiple directions. I'd be terrified I get some type of chip out or something. So if I knew somebody with a large drum sander, that would be the answer. But nobody I know has a 36-inch wide. I did know somebody, but they're gone. So that's not an option. Hand sanding, probably sitting right here at the bench. The next stream is probably just me sitting here with my orbital sander and talking to you guys for like 3 hours. Might be tonight, might be tomorrow. We'll see. It really depends on when my track saw gets in here. So if it gets in here tonight, I might go ahead and cut everything to size and then go through the sanding process. I need to take a leak. All right. And for the water 28 door, I guess the 9 and 13/16 pounds. And then the smaller 28 gets the 9 3/4 inch panels. So these are the panels for this door. You're gonna need a little bit more glue. Oh, excuse me. I really can't wait to build some doors out of something that looks really pretty. These are okay for interior doors, but I'm really excited to do the front door to the house here. Let me make sure I cut these right before I get too far ahead of myself. And yippers. All right. And then another funny story, I have them all labeled. Well, not even labeled. I know which door is supposed to be which, but I probably need to label them because now that they're all glued together, by the time they come out of the clamps and get moved around the shop, I'm not gonna know which one is which. So I probably should label at the top of each one of these, like closet door, so I can know which one is which. Because some of them are different widths, some of them are a little bit taller than others. There's gonna be so much sanding, you know. All right. Put a little more glue in here and we can get going. Let's see, and this one needs to be 77 3/4. Where's my tape? Ooh, please don't fall. Whew. There we go. And this one needs to be 77 3/4. $78 16. Woo! Scares me every time. Hello, how are you doing, young lady? Thank you. Yes, I'm currently live streaming. I'll be done in a second. I'll be done in a second. Are you making food? Are you making food? I'll be done in a second. Hold up. I said wait. Okay, you're ignoring me. All right. Oh, what was I doing? This pipe clamp is resting on the other door sitting over there so it won't sit flat. I can spin the pipe clamp around this way, but this one is staying on my bench until later. So that'll be hard as fuck to walk by this way. I actually want to grab a shorter clamp if I got one. Let's see if I have two shorter clamps. I need one, two. Yeah, two shorter clamps. I think I got two. Oh, and they're really leaving. All right. Whew. And just like that, we have a total of 8 doors clamped up and glued together. Well, 5 glued together, 3 more that are currently in clamps. Probably in the next hour, I'll be taking these out. And then I have my last 2 to glue together in the back. And it's probably been almost a month since I even been able to put my joiner back in that corner. So these sawhorses will be put up in just a second. Stuff can kind of go back into their homes. And then I can kind of figure out what I'm going to do with all that scrap sitting over there. But it has been a journey. So our last 2 sets of rails. And our current 5 doors waiting to be sanded and cut to length. I think it's going to be it for this stream. If I'm lucky again, I might be able to hit another one tonight, but the one tonight will more than likely be me just sanding everything. So, again, I really appreciate all you guys for hanging out, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.